I'm Sam, and this is Cooking Cuban. Making ropa vieja starts off as the same process as the frijoles colorados. So we have to soften the meat in some beef bouillon, and which is what we're going to do right now. You take that skirt steak and these beef bouillon packets and you throw it into the pressure cooker. ¿Y se cocina por cuánto?
Ablandarlo en presión como unos 20 minutos, 25 minutos.
Okay, so when this has water in it, what you're going to do is you're going to take this meat and you're gonna put it in here. Boom. Okay, obviously not in the package, but just to say, it's bouillon, I think in English, and it's from beef. And you're also gonna put it in there and you're gonna let it boil up. You're gonna soften the meat for 20 minutes, and then the water's gonna look like this at the end of it. Save a cup of this beef stock for the ropa vieja in just a bit. Okay, so when the meat is hot, like you just when the meat is hot, you just took it out of the pressure cooker. Okay, the sooner you do it after the better, because you have to rip up the meat, shred it. And when you shred it, the meat is gonna end up looking like this. Because basically, you took each of these little things and you just pulled it apart. Okay? So meat looks like that. Y tú lo haces con pinza porque está caliente.
Dos tenedores.
Porque
está muy caliente, cuando está muy caliente, no hacerlo con la mano porque te va a quemar.
Using 2 forks when the meat is just out of the pressure cooker and very hot, start tearing it apart as you see my grandma doing here. Okay, she's just reenacting what she did when she took the hunk of beef out of the pressure cooker. The hotter, the better, because it's easier to rip.
Queda muy grande, con la mano
ya después. Se enfríe, tú lo picas como tú quieras.
Después que se enfría, tú los quieres más chiquiticos, los haces más chiquiticos.
Once the meat cools, you can rip it into as small of a piece as you want. Now we're making the sauce for the ropa vieja. What you just saw being poured in is the sofrito out of the can. Like I said, with the frijoles colorados, you can also saute your own tomatoes, green red peppers, garlic, and onions to make this yourself. You put it on high until it starts to boil, and then you're going to throw in some olive oil. Aceite.
Sí.
And let that start to simmer on high for just a bit. You see it's all starting to come together. It's really cooking it all up and to get those flavors mixed in there. So now we're going to start adding the meat. We made a lot of meat because there was about 10 people eating. So you obviously don't have to make this much. You can choose as much beef as you want for a family of whatever you're cooking for, or friends, of course. Put all the meat in there, and you want to really soak the meat in the sofrito sauce. You want to get it all mixed up so that the meat doesn't stay dry. Because, I don't know about you, but I'm not into dry food. I like my stuff saucy. Okay, so my grandma's mixing it up for me. This is actually my favorite Cuban dish, ropa vieja. So I highly encourage for you to try and make it. Y eso es la agua de la falda y los frijoles, ¿verdad?
Sí, donde sirvió la carne.
Ajá.
Para que afloje la carne, mira, ¿ves?
A ver, sí.
Para que no quede tan seca.
What you saw 10 seconds ago was my grandmother pouring the beef stock, which we cooked the meat in earlier, into the ropa vieja to make it a little more loose so it doesn't stay dry. She's adding salt and pepper, of course, that is to taste, so however you like it. And now to give it a little more sauciness, we're putting in tomato paste so that it gives it a little color, a lot of flavor, and yeah, that's what we're pouring in there right now. As you see that fancy can opener doing our job for us. There she is, pouring the tomato paste in there, and she's mixing it up so that once again, it doesn't come out dry. The goal is for this to be saucy and yummy.
Sí,
yo creo que así sí.
Si no, cuando te pase, si no te pasa eso, con una pastillita la hierve de carne, y la agüita y le puedes también.
In the case that you see your ropa vieja is still a little dry, you can always add a little more beef stock to sauce it up.
Lo dejamos ahí.
Ya un ratico para que coja el gusto.
Ajá. Y babum. Esto está en alto también.
Sí, lo tengo en alto. Déjame ponerlo ahora un poquito de abajo.
Now that the meat is all good and mixed up in the sauce, you want to let it simmer there for 10-15 minutes in order for the flavor to really stick.
¿Cómo está?
Ah, bueno.
Bueno.
A little behind the scenes secret, we actually made the ropa vieja and the frijoles colorados on the same day. As you see, they're both here simmering, and we use the beef stock for both the beans and the ropa vieja. You can make it into a perfect meal.
And boom!
Todo aquel que piensa que la vida es desigual tiene que saber que no es así, que la vida es una hermosura.
Alright, so now I'm going to eat the ropa vieja and the frijoles colorado, which is a perfect meal.
Whatever price you want on this inside this magic hat.
And then, if you grab the... It is good, of course.
Yeah.
Which
and
are
you
you?
definitely do not want to be. You definitely do
Hey!
not want to be.
I'm trying to record a video. Oh, stop it. We're trying to, this is my family. Cubans are loud. Food's good. Food's worth it.